Welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Lights, and we're joined by Archie Heaney, our rugby captain. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, come back from a long day of school, but no, yeah, excited.
I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and then we'll play a little game at the end where you'll have to demonstrate some sports, and I'll have to guess them.
Oh, yeah, great.
So the first question is, what has been your best sporting moment to date?
Well, as a very keen rugby player, it's got to be given the opportunity to play for Leicestershire last year. Unfortunately, I didn't make it into the category for my age group, but I got into the year above as a part of like an apprentice scheme. So I'll be prepared for next year when it changed hands into a different coach, and I'll be playing for them.
Yeah.
So playing for them, definitely, it was an amazing experience. Really proud of that. But that goes alongside becoming captain of the first team for rugby.
Yeah.
I think part of that was because me and my brother have a big rivalry about this. So he got co-captain and then I got the captain. So, I one-upped him on that front. But no, yeah, definitely both of those have been my biggest sporting achievements.
Yeah, obviously unfortunate we couldn't play any games this season, but we've got a little tournament
Been
coming.
awful, hasn't it, mate? It's been awful.
Who's the best player you have played with and against?
Well, obviously, apart from yourself.
Of
Yeah,
course.
cool. No, well, when I was in this Leicestershire squad, I played with someone called Jordan Tebbett, and he was borderline. He played at Brooksby, but he was borderline Tigers Academy. And as we got on later into that season, he got into the Tigers Academy. But unfortunately, because of the COVID and all of that, they had to cut the squad down, and I think he got dropped. But I recently saw that he got signed for sale while he's been at Manchester Uni. So yeah, he's made it into their academy. But you just looked at him. He was a great leader. He was massive. The ball carries that he made, the work rate, it was phenomenal. Yeah.
What position?
Yeah. Oh, he was second row, back row. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't massive. He wasn't like tall, but he got through a lot.
Wide.
Yeah, really wide. Yeah. So yeah, he's probably the one that stands out most in my mind. But I've played with many great players, Ratcliffe, non-Ratcliffe, at the club at Melton alongside you. It's it's been loads.
Yeah, and then the best player you've played against, who would you say?
Ooh. Well, I mean, it'd probably be. I'm going to focus on rugby a lot tonight, but it'll be probably one of the Market Harbour players who made it into the Leicestershire. I remember Henry Jewell scoring that try where he had caught the ball after our clearance kick, and he did a little chip over out of nowhere, one bounce, he caught it, ran away and scored a try. And yeah, I mean, just you look at the talent with that and you think, yeah, fairs to them.
He's unbelievable. What are your earliest sporting memories?
So I think the first time I ever started playing rugby was about 3, and it was touch up at or tag rugby up at Melton. So that's Melton Mowbray Rugby Football Club, and that was I just remember going Sunday mornings, getting stuck in, just playing the old bulldog where you had to take the tags off and all of that. But no, I think one of those were my first sporting memories. But more competitively, I think it was when we started growing up a bit, moving into under 9s, under 10s, when you had the transition between tag and contact. And that's where you saw the difference between those who wanted to be there and those who turned up because their parents wanted them to turn up. But yeah, I love that.
Who are your sporting heroes?
Well, sorry, as a big Tigers fan, always have been, always will be. So I remember growing up with the Manu Alassana pairing at 13, 14, or even on both wings, and the chaos that they used to bring. They are definitely up there with some of my heroes. But before I moved to my current position of inside centre, I was a number 8 or second row. So as one of those, I know, what an old time. But Tom Croft, I mean, hit the acceleration off the first 5, and then he just kept going. Oh, some amazing tries. I can't remember which final it was, but he just picked up and he went and just looked at him. Yeah, definitely up there with my idols.
very deceptively quick. I think you look at him, you're like, oh,
Oh,
I'll catch up to him, and he's just gone.
yeah. I
Um,
think he's just going to lumber on a bit, and then
yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Were you always a natural sports person while you were growing up?
Um, yeah, I'd say I've been very lucky with the gifts that I've got, but I don't really see someone as being a natural sports person. I think it's the work that they put in that gives them the opportunities to become this natural sports person.
Definitely.
So I say, yeah, I have been, but I've always worked hard. I've always wanted to work hard because it's the time where I get the break from the rest of the world and I just get this opportunity to go and play rugby, cricket, hockey, football, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd say, yeah, I have been blessed, but it goes alongside the hard working.
Yeah. When did you realise that you had a real talent in sport?
Um, so my two main sports are, well, obviously rugby and then hockey goes alongside that. Um, Rugby was probably about year 9, year 10. I think I just started to grow, and everyone else, yeah, everyone else was left behind. So really started to enjoy it a bit more because I got that physical element to my game as well as the observant side and looking for the gaps. So yeah, I really enjoyed it then, and that's probably when I started seeing the talent that I had for rugby. Whereas hockey was a bit later on, so it was year 11 when, well, there's quite a few of us who started making it into the first team in year 11, and we realised, you know what, when we come to year 13, we're going to be amazing. Yeah, here we are. The COVID's happened, and yeah, haven't had a game.
Annoying, yeah. What sports do you play, and to what standard?
So my I've played rugby for county, obviously for Leicestershire. So that's yeah, my highest standard, as well as hockey. I played a little bit for county, but I never really got too involved with it because I preferred to play rugby, so I focused more on that. And then cricket, it's always been a social, go to the village, see who's about, have a chat,
Yeah.
throw a couple of overs, hit a ball about and see how we go. But yeah.
Who has been your most inspirational sports teacher or coach?
Um, well, all of the Ratcliffe ones, I know, because I'm going to get shot at school tomorrow if I don't mention them. So Mr. Taylor, he took us to those two national finals for hockey. I mean, I don't think we would have got anywhere near it without him and his wise words and all of that. Mr. Wilcock, he's been guiding me because I knew him before I came to Ratcliffe in year 7 at Melton. So he's been guiding me up through my hockey career as well. Mr. K, he's been there from the start. Mr. Woodcock. But for me, over the last 2-3 years, where I've probably seen the most development to my game, it's been Mark Burr,
Yeah.
who has been a part of Ratcliffe in the first team rugby. So he's been taking on more of a coaching managerial side. And he also was the person who allowed me to play for Leicestershire in the year above because he led those two teams. So he's just helped me to, he's spotted where I need to work on, and he's told me, go work on this and you become a better player. So I've worked on it, and yeah, I've become a better player.
Yeah.
So he's really inspired me to do more.
I would have to agree with you on that. Mark is just an unbelievable coach.
Definitely.
What challenges did you come across to get where you are today?
There's been a few, but the most memorable for me, and probably the one that it's really focused me to work a bit more on, was when there was the Leicester Tigers DPD, or whatever, JPD, came to an end, and then it moved into county before they started the Tigers Academy.
Yeah.
And that county period allowed a couple more to join. So there was a big session going on up at Leicester Grammar that I went to, and it was me, Connor Foster, GBG, who's someone from Loughborough Grammar for everyone else who's watching, and they went with me, sorry. And as it came round, there was I think a week and a half's wait, and we were all thinking, oh yeah, well, I did all that I can, hopefully I get in. And it really hurt to see that everyone else got through. So Connor and GBG got into that and I didn't. But I think that's probably helped me and made me more determined to become a better player now, rather than getting it easy then, as you might say.
Yeah, I was going to say, have you used that as motivation when
Oh,
playing rugby to carry on getting better?
oh yeah, definitely. I think I've put on a little bit more weight than compared to back then, which was year 11, year 12. So I've been going to the gyms in the morning, and Mr. Hill at school has been helping me to, work on my strength and conditioning. So I think that's really helped me to, realize, here you go, you've got it all now. Make sure you work hard, keep you motivated, and yeah, hopefully one day I'll get there.
Because you can have all the skills out on the pitch, but you've got to work hard in the gym and outside of the game. Otherwise, you're not going to get far.
Yeah, you're not going to be big enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say are your strengths and weaknesses?
Um, all right, I'll start with my weaknesses so I get that out of the way. I'm going to keep it sport specific. So I'll start with hockey. I think my composure on the ball. So it's been, I've always, well, I don't really like having the ball in hockey because all the pressure's on you. Because if you lose it, then you have to go and regain it and all of that. So having the ball is always a big thing. So you've got to make sure you have composure. And when people are coming to you and it puts pressure on, I always panic and always, I just take into a stick and lose the ball.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I need to learn, and probably maybe doing more drills outside or putting myself under pressure will help me get there. Rugby, well, ever since I've grown, so from year 9, I've just loved taking it in and, hitting the contact and all of that. So maybe using my vision to see, give it to someone else where they're in space, or finding an option which will put them through so then they can go and score. I think maybe doing that. Strengths, I'd say listening to other people, hearing what they've got, seeing their ideas. So that might incorporate with my communication, and being able to clearly speak to someone, saying, "Oh yeah, could you do this, or could you do that, or maybe do this so that next time we'll have that opportunity to go through," or yeah, something like that. But that might run parallel to leading. So I think one of my good skills is leadership, and ensuring as a team, we stay as a team, rather than, for rugby, it's 15 individual players. You want to stay as one team and keep that team morale. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, just having you on the pitch for any sport really, you can really notice your communication and leadership. It does benefit the team a lot.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Making me blush.
Um, what's the best piece of advice that you were given that has helped you to get where you are today?
I think I'm sure every coach has said out there that, what you put in is what you get out. And we had, when we were at Melton, so a bit of context, me and Tom, we used to play at Melton Rugby Club together, and we had Neil Fletcher, who's an ex rugby player, and he always had this phrase of putting it in the fitness bank when we were doing fitness, and it's what you put in is what you get out. So I think if you don't work hard in your training sessions, and you don't work hard outside of the matches, you're not going to do very well. You need to make sure you do put in the effort 24/7, so that then you can play well in those matches and then you get the opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Is there any advice that you'd give to a young aspiring athlete?
It enjoy every minute, because yeah, I'm sitting here. Well, I'm sure you are as well. We're sitting here after a pandemic. We haven't played any sport all year, and we look back on previous years when we took for granted how lucky we were to play the sport and enjoyed it so much. So just enjoy every second that you get, and it's not just the matches, it is the training sessions. So make sure you take them seriously, because coaches notice, even players notice, when you don't put effort in the training session. And that will just take you down a peg and maybe put you from the first team to the second team or anything like that.
Definitely. I think coaches really do notice hard work. If you've not got the skills, but you're working as hard as you can, I think they do honestly notice that. And
oh yeah, definitely.
yeah.
When you bring in for a huddle and you see people who aren't panting or anything, that they haven't given 100%. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Were you ever told that you weren't going to be a success, or you dropped from a team, and how did you cope with that?
Um, Well, I've mentioned the time that I said I didn't make it to a team, but that's not quite this. I don't think, well, I haven't played, I've only played what, 15 years of sport. So that's a long time. But in the grand scheme of things, I haven't really had a coach who's not been very supportive or hasn't said, you're not going to do this. But I'd say it's more mentally. So, when you get that blow, so you get an injury and you're out and you those negative thoughts just kick in. And so I've had a fair few of those saying, oh yeah, well, you're not going to make it. So what's the point? But it's always thinking, just do it. You have fun,
Mhm.
go out there, play it. You'll get better.
Yeah,
If you're injured, you'll get better. Just make sure that when you do get that opportunity again, you take it.
definitely.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any injuries following on from what you've just said, and how have you dealt with them?
Yeah. Well, me and you, we used to be sick note 1 and sick note 2, didn't we? Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, we've had our fair share of season tickets to A&E, but I've never really had like a massive injury that set me out for months on end. It's more been, I don't know, pulled my calf, or I had problems with my tendons or knees or things like that. So it wasn't anything like a massive break, but they weren't. They always, I always got disappointed. I was like, oh, I'm injured again. Why do I keep on dit? Why has this happened to me? And I think that might have been the problem, that I didn't rest long enough. Now that I've got the knowledge of, how the body works and stuff like that, I always used to go rushing back into it and thinking, oh yeah, I'll be fine.
Mhm.
So coping with it, I probably didn't do it the best. I should have waited longer, taken my time, gotten back into it. But no, I just wanted to play sport, to be honest.
I know standing on the sidelines injured is honestly the worst feeling. You just want to be back out there, but you do have to be patient and just
Oh,
wait
yeah,
until you fully recover.
yeah.
What are you planning on doing after school, sport wise?
So hoping to go to Bristol University in September, and I'll play rugby. I don't know what level I'll play, but I just want to play rugby, whether it's for the university side, or if they've got any smaller clubs within the students' union, or if they've got a club outside that are looking to take people on. Yeah, I want to play rugby, and I'll find whichever way I can.
Yeah,
Yeah, and with Bristol, of course, being so dominant and coming up through the Premiership, I'm sure that they've got a lot of rugby going on down there. So hopefully that'll be great.
that concludes the questions. So we'll move on to the game. So you'll just have to act out as many sports as you can in a minute. I'll put a timer on, and I'll just
Oh,
have
okay.
to mate. Let me just get a
Hmm.
1 minute timer.
Do you want me to stand up so you can see it? Yeah.
Yeah, probably 1 second. My phone's just ringing up. Sorry about that, mate. Give you some extra thinking time.
Yeah, I am. I'm ready for this.
I'll give you a countdown and then I'll start the timer.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Basketball. Yeah. Cricket. Yeah. Tennis. Rugby.
Um,
Table tennis. Swimming. Golf.
um,
Netball. You've got like 30 seconds left. Archery.
archery.
Football.
Yeah. Um,
5 seconds, Arch. Go.
no, I'll give up. No.
You're giving up. All right.
Yeah, I can't think of any more.
I've miscounted. I don't know if it's 9 or 10.
Put 10 down. Maybe 11. Maybe 11. I'll go through it. I had archery, football, table tennis, basketball, netball, cricket, hockey, rugby,
Football.
football. Yeah,
10.
10. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the same as Amy. Not bad. I think
Oh no.
gonna beat her. I think the way to it is doing Olympic sports. That's what
Oh
I
yeah.
missed out on. Discus, shot put, javelin. Yeah, it's
But wouldn't that come under athletics
yeah.
rather than yeah, fair enough. Oh, I could have done high jump.
I don't know,
Oh.
bit dangerous. Pole vault.
Yeah, I've got a bed there, so I'll be fine. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the interview. Thank you very
Perfect.
much, mate.
No, thank you.